I'm going to talk about, and she has already said to you that I am Dr. Saleha Khan, Professor, Department of Fisheries Management, Faculty of Fisheries, Bangladesh Agricultural University. So today, now I'm going to talk to you about marine harmful algae and their impact on fisheries and human health. Okay. So before talking about marine harmful algae and about their impact on fishes and human health, this is very important for you to know some keywords, okay? And today in my lecture you will be able to know about the first point is what is algae. This is very, very important. If you want to know about the marine harmful algae, then this is really very important for you to be very familiar about the definition of algae. And then what's the difference between beneficial algae and harmful algae? This point also is very, very important. And the third point is you will be able to know in details today what's the difference between phytoplankton or algal bloom and reptile. The next point is possible regions for algal blooms and then different types of harmful algal blooms. Also, you will be able to know about the different types of poisoning due to different harmful algae. And the last point is harmful algae in coastal waters of Bangladesh. Okay, so first I think that before talking or before starting about the algae, I would like to see whether you are familiar with some groups of algae or not. For that reason, first I am showing you some groups of phytoplankton. So just try to memorize or try to remember whether you are familiar with these groups of phytoplankton or not. Okay? And you know that there is no difference between phytoplankton and macroalgae. That means macroalgae can be called phytoplankton and phytoplankton can be called macroalgae. Okay. So, who are they? Are you familiar with this group of phytoplankton? I think that as you are from Dhaka University, all of you are very much familiar with this group of phytoplankton. So here we can see some species of dinoflagellates. Okay, the first one is Gonulas, and this is Serratia, marine dinoflagellates, marine harmful algae, and this is Carenia brevis, and this is Gonulus. They look very tiny, so cute, but you know that even they can kill a human being. Maybe you are thinking that, what madam is telling about, how is it possible to kill a human being by microscopic algae? Yes, it is also possible, and I will tell you in details about this later. So first, I would like to say to you that who are they? In fact, they are dinoflagellates. So why their name is like this, dinoflagellates? Because they have two flagella and they are responsible for producing red tide in marine water bodies throughout the world. Okay, they have two flagella. For that reason, they are commonly or popularly known as dinoflagellates. Okay, and how about these? What do you think about this group of phytoplankton? In fact, these are green algae, microgreen algae. Because we have macrogreen algae also. Under the chlorophyta, there are so many species in marine water, but you know they are macrogreen algae, and today we are talking about microgreen algae, and you know that these are really very, very important. If we want to get successful aquaculture or successful fisheries, we must have good production of beneficial algae like microgreen algae or diatom. Okay? For that reason, this is very, very important, and you know that why they are very, very important. In any water body, if you can think just in any water body, there are so many nutrients. If all the nutrients are utilized by harmful algae, then the beneficial algae like green algae and diatom they can never get the opportunity to grow vigorously due to the less concentration of nutrients, as most of the nutrients from any water body, the notorious, noxious, harmful, toxic algae are being utilized. Are you clear now? So this group of phytoplankton is really very important for us. And can you remember them? The first one is, now you can see, these are commonly known as diatom. And here you can see, these are commonly known as blue-green algae. Okay, this is a beneficial group of algae and this is a harmful group of algae. So these are commonly known as diatom. So maybe a question, that means you are thinking, why their name is like this? Diatom. You know that they have two valves. One is epitheca and another one is hypotheca. That's why they are commonly known as diatom. On the other hand, here you can see another group of phytoplankton, blue-green algae. These are also very notorious, noxious, toxic and harmful. And you know that very interesting, they have another name, cyanobacteria. They are not bacteria, they are phytoplankton. Maybe you are thinking why their name is like this, cyanobacteria, but in fact they are not bacteria, they are phytoplankton or microalgae. You know that the physiologically, not physically, okay? The physiologically and structurally blue-green algae are like bacteria and functionally like plants in aquatic ecosystem. That's why they are popularly known as cyanobacteria. So, if you want to memorize about this point, why blue-green algae are commonly known as cyanobacteria, then you have to memorize only 3 keywords. Okay? The first keyword is physiologically, and then structurally, and the third one is functionally. I am telling you again that why blue-green algae are commonly known as cyanobacteria, though they are not bacteria. You know that they are physiologically and structurally like bacteria but functionally like plants in aquatic ecosystem. That's why they are commonly known as cyanobacteria. Are you clear now? Okay. So I am not telling you any more about cyanobacteria right now, but I will tell you more about cyanobacteria later. Now, who are they? They are just a, okay? So I have talked about diatom, green algae, blue-green algae, dinoflagellus. So who are they? You can say they are just algae. Okay. Now, what is algae? What are algae? Okay. So you can say that a combination of macroalgae and microalgae are called algae. So now, what is macroalgae and what is microalgae? And before, here you can see some species of microalgae. You know that macroalgae also commonly known as phytoplankton. Now let's see, what is phytoplankton or microalgae? You know that organisms of relatively small size, mostly microscopic, which have either relatively small powers of locomotion or else none at all, and which drift in the water subject to the action of waves, currents and other forms of water motion is called phytoplankton. Okay, now let's have the macroalgae or seaweed. What is macroalgae here? You know that another point is microalgae or microscopic plankton capable of photosynthesis. You know that in this one, this term is really very important. So macroalgae are really very important, and these are microscopic plankton capable of photosynthesis found in oceans, seas and freshwater and an essential component of aquatic ecosystem. Okay, and seaweed. What is seaweed? If you want to memorize the definition of seaweed, you will have to remember 3M. Okay, just 3M you will have to memorize. So seaweed refers to any of the macroscopic, multicellular marine algae. And if you memorize these 3M, macroscopic, multicellular and marine algae, then you can define seaweed. There is a typing mistake and I am extremely sorry for that. Okay, it shouldn't be. And then they are generally grouped into 3 taxa. You know about them: green, brown and red algae. Okay, and now what is it? Okay, now I would like to say what is algae. So I have already explained about the algae. So I think that all of you now you are capable of saying about the definition of it. I am telling you, a large and a very, very diverse group of mainly aquatic organisms ranging from single cell members of the plant plankton to multicellular seaweed is called algae. I am telling you again, a large and a very, very diverse group of mainly aquatic organisms ranging from aquatic eukaryotic and photosynthetic organisms ranging from single cell members, that means phytoplankton or macroalgae, ranging from single cell members of the plant plankton to multicellular seaweed is called algae. Are you clear now? So now just see the definition of algae like this. This is really very simple thing to memorize. I think that this is not difficult at all. The definition of algae. I am telling you again that this is very important. For that reason I am telling you again, what is algae? A large and a very diverse group of mainly aquatic, eukaryotic and photosynthetic organisms ranging from single cell members of the plant plankton, that means phytoplankton or macroalgae, to seaweed is called algae. Okay? Characteristics of algae. I think that it's better not to explain about these points, then it will take so much time. And it's better not to say any more about characteristics of algae. Now, types of algae. If we think on the basis of size, then there are 2 types of algae. One is microalgae and another one is macroalgae. Here you can see. The first one is microalgae. On the basis of size, we can divide into 2 groups, macroalgae and microalgae. So first you can see here microalgae and then macroalgae. So what is the difference? What are the difference between microalgae and macroalgae, and how you can define them? Microalgae and then macroalgae, small microscopic aquatic photosynthetic plants that require the aid of a microscope to be seen is called microalgae. On the other hand, what is macroalgae? Large aquatic photosynthetic plants that can be seen without the aid of a microscope is called macroalgae. Are you clear now? These are so simple, so easy, so interesting. No? Yes. Now, then, here you can see this is a microcystis aeruginous macroalgae, and this is a seaweed macrocystis. This is microcystis and this is macrocystis. This one is microalgae and this one is macroalgae. Okay? And on the basis of quality. So there are 2 types of plankton on the algae on the basis of quality. One group is, here you can see, beneficial algae and another one is harmful algae. Now let's have the difference between beneficial algae and harmful algae. Here you can see some species of beneficial algae. On the other hand, here you can see some harmful algae, some species of harmful algae. Here, beneficial algae. What is beneficial algae? Most species of algae are beneficial. Here we can see they are not harmful. And they are used as food for fishes and also used as food for other organisms like green algae, diatom, etc. So here you can see, for instance, green algae. Most of the green algae grow very fast under right conditions, and not only that, they are photosynthetic pigments and reserve products are similar to those of higher plants, which is really very important. Like you can see chlorella, different species of chlorella is really very important. They are belonging to the division of chlorophyta, which is used as human food in many countries of the world. Now they are very important, not only on fisheries, even they are very important and they have good impact on human health. Another group is diatom. Here we can see some species of diatom which are the most important and abundant of the plankton. Now harmful algae. So you are already familiar or you are clear about the beneficial algae, which is really very important. And if we want to know about harmful algae, so first we must know about algae and then about beneficial algae, and then what's the difference between beneficial algae and harmful algae. So now let's have the harmful algae. Okay, so here you can see some species of harmful algae. You know that harmful algae are those which are capable of producing harmful algal blooms that can cause negative impact to fishes, invertebrates and other aquatic organisms. Here also another typing mistake. I am really so sorry for that. And you know that most phytoplankton are benign. And you know about this one, that in this world phytoplankton are really very important. And you know that most phytoplankton are benign, forming the base of the food web. However, about 2% of these algae are capable of causing harm and by producing toxins, because some species can produce toxins, also by forming heavy blooms and otherwise by disrupting the ecosystem. So now let's have algal bloom, because you know there are many harmful algae which are capable of producing harmful algal blooms. So what is algal blooms? You know that all the time, not permanently, temporarily or permanently, phytoplankton concentration of a water body, usually of an eutrophic one, becomes really very high due to maximum favorable conditions of physicochemical parameters like light, temperature, nutrients, etc., of which the concentration of essential nutrients are really very important, and this is very high concentration of phytoplankton due to maximum favorable conditions of physicochemical parameters is called phytoplankton bloom. Here you can see the photograph of phytoplankton. It looks just like a green blanket. No? Yes. And another point is, here, this is a harmful algae, or you can say Hab. Hab can be harmful to humans, not only to humans, mammals, birds and fishes. And what's the difference between algal bloom or phytoplankton bloom and red tide? So you can see the difference between algal bloom and red tide. I think that I have already explained to you about phytoplankton bloom or algal bloom. Now let's have the red tide. Here you can see the photograph of red tide. So what is red tide? Red tide, the phenomenon red tide refers to blooms of toxic microorganisms causing a death of marine fishes, not freshwater, causing a death of marine fishes, invertebrates and seabirds, and is usually accompanied by discolored seawater, is called red tide. So from this figure you can be very much clear about the definition of red tide. What is red tide? I am telling you again. The phenomenon red tide refers to blooms of toxic microorganisms, not freshwater marine, toxic microorganisms causing a death of marine freshwater, causing a death of marine fishes, invertebrates and seabirds, and is usually accompanied by discolored seawater. This is red tide. Okay? And now let's have the endpoint. That means why the name is like this, red tide. Another point is, you know that all the red tides can be phytoplankton bloom, but all the phytoplankton can never be red tide. Because you know that phytoplankton can be formed both in freshwater and marine water, but red tide can be formed only in marine water, not in freshwater. Are you clear about this one, this point? So, if there is a question like this, that all the phytoplankton, all the red tide can be phytoplankton bloom, but all the phytoplankton bloom can't be red tide, just justify the statement. This is very important for you to know. And here, you know the Cardinia brevis. This is very cute, tiny, microscopic dinoflagellates, and this is a toxic marine dinoflagellate which is able to produce heavy red tides in different parts of the world, and which can kill large number of fishes and other sea life, including dolphins. So here you can see this is red tide produced by Cardinia brevis. Here you can see tiny cute Cardinia brevis. Though this is very cute, but this is really noxious, harmful, toxic, and dangerous. Notorious, because it can produce revotoxin. That means it can produce different neurotoxic components, which is really very dangerous. And here you can see thousands of fishes are killed by red tide of Cardinia brevis in USA. And these species are making serious problem not only in USA, throughout the world. Now, here red tide can be formed only by Cardinia brevis. It can be produced by other species of dinoflagellates also. Here you can see Peridinium species, Alexandrium catenella, Alexandrium austenfieldi, Bonulax osteopsis, etc. And here you can see red tides are not only red color, they can be several colors. But the scientists gave the name first on Cardinia brevis, because that time the Cardinia brevis produced the bloom and it killed so many fishes, and that's why the name was like this, red tide. But red tide can be formed by other colors, dinoflagellate also. I think that you are clear about this point. Now here, possible regions for algal blooms. There are so many important points, and the first one is nutrient enrichment of the aquatic environment, and then the next one is decreased dredging pressure on the algae in question, large scale hydrometeorological change, upwelling of nutrient-rich bottom water, and the next one is freshwater runoff, and the last one is, and the most important one is, water pollution from domestic fuels and agricultural and industrial waste. Though I think that this is really very important for you to know in detail, but if I start to explain these, all the points, then it will take so much time, many hours. Even I can't finish today. For that reason, I think that it's better not to explain all the points. Okay, and now what we can see different types of harmful algae. So you know that I'm telling you that dinoflagellate, marine dinoflagellate, they can form blooms in marine water, also in coastal and freshwater bodies. So there are three types of harmful algal blooms, and this is really very important for you to know. The first group is here. You can see there are some species which can produce basically harmless water discoloration, but sometimes they can grow so dense that they can cause indiscriminate kills of fishes due to oxygen depletion. Because though some species which can produce basically harmless, not harmful, basically harmless water discoloration, but sometimes the blooms can grow so densely that they can cause indiscriminate kills of fishes and invertebrates due to oxygen depletion. This is the first group of harmful algal blooms. I think that these are, of course, these are very dangerous, but there are some two groups of harmful algal blooms. These are more dangerous than this group of phytoplankton. So what here we can see, for instance, Gornivlax polygramma. You know that here you can see harmful blooms of Gornivlax polygramma, and here mass mortality of fishes due to red tide of Gornivlax polygramma due to anoxia and hypoxia. And not only Gornivlax polygramma, here you can see another example is Noctiluca scintillans. Okay, Noctiluca scintillans is another notorious phytoplankton which can produce red tides frequently from spring to summer in many parts of the world. Okay, so here you can see from this photograph that how dangerous they can be. Fish kills caused by Noctiluca scintillans due to hypoxia or anoxia. And the second group of harmful algal blooms is there are some species which are non-toxic to humans, but they are really harmful to fishes and invertebrates and can kill fish by damaging or clogging the gills of fishes and invertebrates. So you know that here you can see two species of diatom. Very diatom. One is Titocellus convolutus and another one is Titocellus concatiformis. They are really very dangerous because you know their spines are so sharp. Here you can see, and here mortality of Penria salmon. And species, the last group is most dangerous. There are some species which can produce potent toxins that can find their way through the food chain to humans, causing a variety of gastrointestinal and neurological illnesses, causing and which are responsible for PSP, that means paralytic shellfish poisoning, amnesic shellfish poisoning, diatic shellfish poisoning, etc. And I think that if you know in details about different shellfish poisoning, I think that it will really be very difficult for you to believe that how much dangerous are they and how much problem they can make and they are making throughout the world. So here, some common species responsible PSP, paralytic shellfish poisoning. So you know that globally, the impact of aquatic environmental pollution is being seen through a variety of disturbing symptoms, including an worldwide decline and collapse of fisheries. According to the World Health Organization, while a combination of factors, most notably overfishing, are to blame, algal pollution is undoubtedly a significant contributor. So here we are talking about most dangerous group of harmful algal blooms which are responsible for paralytic shellfish poisoning, diatic shellfish poisoning, amnesic shellfish poisoning, neurotoxic shellfish poisoning, etc. And you know that though the microscopic planktonic algae are critical food for commercially important crustaceans and fishes. However, in some situations, algal blooms can make severe problems and causing a variety of gastrointestinal and neurological illnesses. Okay, and you know that there are about 5,000 marine species of phytoplankton, which can and of which only 300 species have the ability to produce phytoplankton bloom or red tide, but only there are 50 to 54 species which have the capacity to produce. That means sometimes they form red tide in water body which can produce potent toxins and which are responsible for the producing gastrointestinal and neurological illnesses. So here this is paralytic shellfish poisoning. I am not explaining about this one anymore. And the second one is there are some species which can produce diabetic shellfish poisoning. And here you can see different species of dinophysis like dinophysis forti, dinophysis cordata, etc. And these are very, very common in Bangladesh also. And the third one is amnestic shellfish poisoning. Some species are very common in the Bay of Bengal also. And why their name is amnestic shellfish poisoning? Because it comes from amnesia. That it came from amnesia, which means a partial or total loss of memory, and which is a serious and life-threatening human illness that can cause permanent or short-term memory loss. And that's why they are commonly known as amnestic shellfish poisoning, and this can be induced by consumption of the marine biotoxin called domoic acid. Why it is domoic acid? Because domoic acid is a naturally occurring amino acid with neurotoxic properties. And here you can see which can be produced by marine diatoms belonging to the genus Pseudonecia, that means different species of Pseudonecia, like Pseudonecia pungens. And ASP, that means amnestic shellfish poisoning, was first reported in 1987 in Prince Edward Island in Canada, and when 3 people died and over 100 people became ill after consuming cooked mussels, and Pseudonecia multiceres was responsible for that incident. And now neurotoxic shellfish poisoning, I am finishing very soon, and I am not explaining about NSP so much. Only you should know that NSP is a illness caused by the consumption of bivalve mollusks contaminated with brevetoxin. This is very important for you to know about the brevetoxin, a structured unique neurotoxin produced by the marine dinoflagellate Carenia brevis. Okay, and this brevetoxin, which is formerly known as, that means now the name is Carenia brevis, which that means brevetoxin can be produced by Carenia brevis, which is formerly known as Gymnodium breve and Tychodiscus brevis. Okay, Cicatera fish food poisoning. And then, what is that one? Here, cyanobacterial toxin poisoning. So, I have already explained many things about cyanobacterial toxin poisoning, that means about cyanobacteria. So what you can see, you know that I'm telling you another point, this is really very important. On the way going from one city to another city, if you observe, then you will see in the right side and left side, you will see some ponds and lakes are greenish, some are combination of bluish and greenish, and some are reddish. So for what reason? Which group of phytoplankton are responsible for bluish and greenish or blue? Cyanobacteria is responsible, or blue-green algae are responsible for greenish blooms or bluish and greenish blooms. On the other hand, there are some ponds and lakes are completely red. Eaglonophytes are responsible for red colors of phytoplankton bloom. So here, you know that there are 4 types of cyanobacteria. They can be unicellular, colonial, filamentous also they can be multicellular. Okay, blue-green algae can form bloom, and you know that the most bloom-forming blue-green algae are Mycocystis, Anamina, Oscillatoria, Aphanijomena, and Nosularia. And you know that such blooms are responsible for numerous animal poisoning and mortality of wildlife and domestic animals. And cyanobacterial toxins are toxins produced by cyanobacteria, which also known as blue-green algae. And here you can see some notorious species, the genus of cyanobacteria like Anabina, Mycocystis and Plantocysts. Okay, so Mycocystis is the most common bloom forming genus and is almost always they are toxic. Really, there are different species of Mycocystis like Mycocystis aeruginosa, Mycocystis viridis, Mycocystis Flosstacula. There are so many species of Mycocystis, and they are all the time. They are very much toxic. Almost of the species. Okay, and I'm going to finish very soon. I think that these are too long. Okay, the most commonly identified cyanotoxins are mycocystins, anatoxins, and saxitoxins. And you know that these toxins primarily affect the liver, but can also affect the kidney and the reproductive system. Here you can see one photograph. That means cyanobacteria toxins can even kill cattle and other animals. And even they can kill a human being. Okay, I will tell you again how they can kill human being. Some cyanobacteria can fix nitrogen, but I am not explaining about that. And here you can see some toxin producing cyanobacteria. How do algal bloom cause harm? And how is it possible for a microscopic algae to kill a human being? I am telling you about that. One of the most serious impact of harmful algal blooms occurs when marine clams, mussels and oysters ingest the toxin producing phytoplankton as their food. That means I am telling you again that one of the most serious impact of harmful algal blooms occurs when clams, mussels, oysters ingest the toxin producing phytoplankton as their food, and they can accumulate enough toxin in their body. That means they means shellfish, different shellfish, scallops, mussels, they can accumulate enough toxin in their body, but typically they are only or marginally affected by those toxin producing phytoplankton, but even they can accumulate enough toxin to kill a human being. Are you clear now? So they are accumulating, that means shellfish are accumulating the toxins in their body after eating the toxin producing phytoplankton, and they are only marginally affected by those toxins, but sometimes they can accumulate enough toxin. That means shellfish can accumulate enough toxin to kill a human being. Are you clear now? Okay. Now, climate change and their influence on harmful algae. So ocean health is the key to the blue economy. You know, if we want to get success of our blue economy, we must control the harmful algal blooms. And you know that one of the biggest threats to our oceans is man-made pollution. And here you can see that is eutrophication good? No. All the time they are not good at all. In general, no, it is not. It is actually bad. And here climate change and their influence on harmful algae. From this figure, you can see how much problem they are making throughout the world. And here, marine algal blooms have a serious negative impact on fisheries. Here, mortality of fishes and seabirds due to red tide. And you know that mostly the dinoflagellate, there are some species which can produce problem in marine water bodies throughout the world, harmful algal blooms in Bangladesh. So most common two groups of toxic phytoplankton in Bangladesh. One is here you can see dinoflagellates and another one is diatom. So people die due to peace after eating shellfish in many countries of the world. And Alaska resident recently died from peace after eating blue mussels. And in our country also there are some problems like this. But due to lack of knowledge, we don't know for what reason people are dying. So here, the first in the first figure, we can see what we can see. We can see whale died from toxin due to toxic algal blooms in Florida, and here we can see sea turtle deaths in Florida waters with red tide, and in the last one we can see some of about 174 dolphins died from red tide bloom in coastal waters of Florida. Okay, and here, so there are many reports in the newspaper about dying of turtles, whale and mammals in our country through though the reasons are unknown. In the first figure we can see a dead turtle lies on the shore at Cox's Bazar, January 17, 2008. Dead whale found at Kuakata Sea Beach, and here we can see dolphin found dead in Cox's Bazar, April 2020. And there are many stories on ecology, biology, and toxicology of marine toxicology from the world, but there is no significant study on harmful and their impact on marine fishes in Bangladesh. And this is very important to know, and from the study of marine harmful algae of Bangladesh, fisheries scientists, fishermen, coastal community, and the concerned people will be aware about the presence and consequence of harmful algae and their blooms. It may help to formulate and execute management measures to keep our coastal and marine waters favorable for sustainable development of fisheries, which is really very important for getting success of blue economy. Harmful algal blooms are a recognized global problem for blue economy, as there are reports of more toxic algal species, more fishes resources affected, more human diseases due to algal toxins, and more economic losses from HAPs than ever before, as there are reports of more toxic algal species, more fishes resources affected, more human disease due to algal toxins, and more economic losses from HAPs than ever before. So this is really very important to do study on harmful algal blooms and their impact on fisheries and human health in details. Okay, so now I would like to draw my conclusion. Here, in my conclusion, I would like to see that you know that harmful algal blooms are now showing signs of a truly global epidemic, not only in Bangladesh, not only in USA, that means throughout the world. So we should start to respond to this problem as such. Otherwise, the world will face so much problem in future. For that reason, we will have to be very careful about the harmful algae and their impact on fisheries and human health. And another point is, you know that we should try our level best to keep our aquatic environment safe from any hazards. The final goal of which is to production of fishes, manage and consume of fishes resources to sustain benefits for the present and future generations, to generate employment and incomes, particularly for the rural poor and unemployed youth of not only Bangladesh, youth of the world. Are you clear now? Okay, that's all today. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone.